Thank you for being here. It's about time that we come together, and it's about time that we unite and make our voices heard. For far too long, this state has been going in the wrong direction. And now it's time for us, the body, to stand up, to unite, to come together for what's right. Today, a friend of mine and colleague, DeMaio, is going to talk to you about Proposition 50 and how we will vote no on it. Be clear on that, right? And number two, he'll also talk about the voter ID, which is very common sense. But don't take these words as just words of education. Take these words as words of action. Because if we don't take these words and spread it and then act upon them, then they just fall dead here. We need to take these words and educate our neighbors and our friends. You know, I get the opportunity to preach sometimes, and one of the things I always say is, go therefore and make disciples of all nations, right? It's a command that's given. So it's up to me as a missionary in Sacramento, and that's what I call myself, as a missionary in Sacramento, as an elected official. It's up to me to take truth and make sure that people hear it, people understand it, and that they get a chance to take it and action it by sharing it with other folks. And that's what's important about today. So if you leave here today without your next action step, I want you to go over to one of the two booths that are out there and say, what can I do? How can I help? And how can I be part of this Army, Marine Corps? Sorry. How can I be part of this army of people who are going to change the very landscape of Imperial County and change the very landscape of California? So without further ado, I want to bring up my friend Carl. I've known him for several years. I believe in what he's doing. I believe in what we're doing together. And Imperial County will once again rise up and let our voices be heard. Are you with me? Give a big round of applause for Carl DeMaio.
Thank you, Jeff. And let me just say thank you to all of you for sending him to Sacramento. I cannot tell you how grateful I am that he's up there fighting alongside all of us, trying to restore some sanity. And let me just start out by saying, for as bad as you think it is in Sacramento, it is so much worse. They are so much more corrupt. They are so much more out of touch than you can possibly imagine. And let me say that they are coming for Jeff. And I need you to have Jeff's back. I need you to work your tails off to make sure he gets reelected in 2026. I want to start out first with a little bit of good news. Because couldn't we use some good news in California? Because, man, we have been really battered by the SOBs up in Sacramento. They have been so bad to this state, and we have suffered so much. And I know that you're barely hanging on by your fingernails. And at times, many times, it feels hopeless. But I want you to know that you should have hope. And I want you to know that yes, you can and you will have your state back. You can and will have your state back. It's not going to be easy, and we have a plan that we're laying out to get there. Second, part of that plan is to restore the integrity of our elections, and that means we need to turn out the no vote on Prop 50, and we also need to make sure we get California voter ID. And third, I'm going to give you homework assignments, because you cannot be a keyboard warrior. You cannot be a couch complainer. I need you off the keyboard into the streets, off the couch, into the streets. I need you to activate, because this does not happen just by someone else doing it. In fact, let me just say, no one is coming to save us. There's no hero that's galloping into California to save us. We, together, will save ourselves. Each of us doing our little part or our great part. Whatever you can do, you need it. You need to do it. You are important. Without you, it does not happen. And that's why you need to take the assignments I give you, and I need you to do at least some of them. To the greatest extent you can, do what you can, but do something. So first, I'm going to start out with the gift of hope. But I want you to promise me that you're going to share it. And that is, for too long, we have felt that the situation is so dire and that no one is doing anything to change the course, that our only choice was to flee California, to leave the state we once loved. And I'm here to say that no, the better choice is to stay and fight. Don't flee, stay and fight. Don't flee, stay and fight. And there's a multitude of reasons why. Number one, the grass ain't greener on the other side, okay? So for all the people who left for Texas and Florida and Tennessee and Nevada and Arizona, oh yes, Nevada and Arizona, they thought they were going to a red state 10 years ago, but that state has been trending blue, purple, because for every good Californian that leaves, another Californian leaves for the same reasons. They can't afford it, they can't stomach it, the schools are bad, they can't get a job. And what happens? They continue to vote the bad way that they started in California, and they contaminate those other states. So you upend your life and you go somewhere else thinking, oh, this is the solution, and you're no better off. But you know what doesn't change in those other states? Heat, humidity, mosquitoes, and alligators. Those will be there, and you will have to deal with that. I don't want you to give up what you have here. The only thing we're cursed by, we're blessed by so much in California. The one thing we're cursed by is our wretchedly corrupt government. But you can change that government. It's gonna be hard, but you can change that government. Second, voters are moving in our direction, and I give you Jeff Gonzalez as the proof. The proof is that Jeff won a majority Latino district. Why? Because the Latinos are waking up and saying enough is enough. You know, whenever the Democrats say, oh, you know, the Latinx, I'm like, go ask a Latino if they want to be called Latinx. They don't. They don't know what the hell that is. But Latinos are waking up because they know the price of butter. They know the price of gas. They know the price of housing. They know it's harder to get a job. They know that if they want to be a small business owner, that dream is not available to them in California because small businesses are crushed. They know their children won't have a bright future because the schools that Latino children get are the worst schools in the state. And they know that Sacramento politicians are all too willing to infringe upon their rights and take girls' sports away from them and put all sorts of nonsense in the classroom for a social agenda. They know that their churches are under attack. And so Latinos are waking up saying, enough's enough. I'm going to leave the Democrat Party. I'm going to start voting in a different direction. And those numbers, Trump won Imperial County, and Jeff Gonzalez won Imperial County. The voters are moving. But I will tell you, they'd move faster if we actually had a Republican Party at the state that had its act together. So I as much as I criticize Democrats for their bad ideas and corruption, I must also assign some blame to the Republican Party political establishment, the political consultants, some of the elected officials that were in office and have been in office. Because instead of fighting, instead of organizing a good plan to fight back and be a voice of opposition and be an opposition party, they've only done one thing well in the last 25 years: surrender. And I'm sick and tired of sellouts and people who surrender. And that's why I tell you, no one is coming to save you but you. And so when people say, well, why do you say that there's hope? There is hope because I'm seeing voters without a plan, without the Republican Party of California actually having its act together. Voters are naturally waking up. naturally they're leaving the Democrat Party and they're registering to vote as Republicans. And I don't need you to register as any political party. I just need you to vote and vote smart. You can be a Democrat, you can remain a Democrat, just vote smart. You can be an independent and remain an independent. You can vote smart. You don't have to join a specific label. You have to become active. And you have to demand better of our elected officials. And that's happening without an active, organized plan to facilitate it. People are naturally waking up, and that's why Gavin Newsom and the politicians are putting Prop 50 on the ballot. They know that they're losing their stranglehold on politics in California. So now they say, they had two choices. One was fix the problems that they created. Do better, because the voters are ticked off and they do not like the direction and they're leaving the Democrat Party and they're voting against the incumbents. So choice one was do your damn job, do better. They decided not to do that. They decided not to do that because they haven't changed a darn policy whatsoever. Given multiple opportunities, they fight the solution. You know what they decided to do instead? Not clean up their act, not improve for you. They've decided the voters are leaving us, so now we've got to rig the election. We have to rig the map. We have to seize power from the Citizens Redistricting Commission that draws the lines based on community issues, community of interest, the voter's voice, and the politicians want to rig the map so that they can protect themselves because they know that you're not happy. They want to dilute the unhappy voices. It's only a Band-Aid. Eventually, the voters will rebel, even with this map. But we've got to vote no on Prop 50 because these politicians don't deserve a get-out-of-jail-free card. They don't deserve a pass on accountability. They need to be held accountable and thrown out of office. The second thing that we know is happening. It's not just the voters are waking up, but at Reform California, we do have a comprehensive plan. We're not waiting for the Republican Party of California to do it. We're just doing it. And that's where the voter ID initiative comes in. We believe that if we restore the integrity of our elections, if we restore public trust and confidence, because a lot of people give up voting because they don't think it makes a difference because it's cooked, the goose is cooked. If we can get voter ID, then we get a fair fight. You give us fair maps and a fair fight, we get good candidates, we start to win. And so we have an entire strategy at Reform California that starts with candidate training, recruitment, support, endorsement, which is why we invested so much in Jeff Gonzalez and Leticia Castillo, who flipped Democrat seats with almost no support of the Republican Party of the state. They had a lot of support on the ground. They built grassroots campaigns, but they didn't have the professional establishment. And that's why I say, we can't rely on them to fix it. We got to do it ourselves. So this is a plan based on a step-by-step process of projects in the next 2, 3, 4 years to break the supermajority the Democrats have and to actually restore the political balance in our state. How many of you have seen the movie Karate Kid? Remember, not the cheap imitation ones, the original one from 1985. Wax on, wax off. Remember that? By going and getting 1 million signatures for voter ID, it is the wax on, wax off of 2025. Because in order to get voter ID on the ballot, we should be doing it just because we need voter ID. Just because of the value of that initiative, we should be doing it, but there's another reason why I'm doing wax on, wax off. I'm building an army. In order to get this on the ballot, we have to get you here to these events. In order for us to get this on the ballot, I have to, at this event, convince you to become a volunteer and activate. And we have to build a massive army statewide and contact information statewide. How many of you are on my email list or my text list? Raise your hand. How many of you got an email or text? There's a reason why I asked you to give me your email and text. I need to activate you. In order to activate you, I need to inform you. In order to inform you, I need to reach you. And so this is all part of wax on, wax off. Because once we build this army to get voter ID, 1 million signatures, We're not disbanding. The army then continues to march. We got another battle to go after, and that battle is next year in trying to flip as many seats as possible and break the supermajority, and maybe, you gotta dream, maybe win the governor's race. Maybe win the attorney general's race. But if it doesn't happen next year, it's gonna happen in 4 years. But this is wax on, wax off, and yes, we've got a bonsai tree, and we have a white fence that we'll get to. But right now, the task at hand in the next 30 days is to get 1 million signatures. And as we get 1 million signatures, to engage our friends and family and neighbors and colleagues and coworkers in saying no on Prop 50. It's a conversation that covers both topics. And so that comprehensive plan relies completely on you. I can't do it. We all must do it. I am just simply the symphony conductor. I don't play an instrument. I just come with the sheet music and I keep us all on track. That's my only job. You make the beautiful music. So what I want you to do is I'm going to walk through some assignments. Consider each of the assignments like an instrument. You don't have to play every instrument, but I want you to pick up one of the instruments I'm going to give you, and I want you to play. And we're going to make some beautiful music. So here are your assignments of California voter ID. First, I need to equip you with tools. The tools that I equip you with is knowledge first. What is the California Voter ID Initiative? It's a state constitutional amendment, which means the politicians can't get around it. They have to comply with the state constitution, and we can sue if they're not implementing it. It requires two things. Yes, it requires voter ID to cast your ballot. But that alone is not enough. Because the fundamental starting point of a good election and the deficiency of California's elections is an outdated voter roll. We have people on the voter roll in California, 22 million people, and last year, 10% of them, 9.6% of them, were deemed to be ineligible or erroneous because they either were dead, moved out of the state, or were not legal citizens. I do not believe that undocumented individuals are knowingly registering to vote. No, I actually believe the politicians, because of voter, are putting them in a situation where they're automatically registered to vote, and then suddenly they get a ballot and they're thinking, oh, I guess I'm able to vote, or maybe this was sent to me because I'm supposed to be able to vote. You know what 9.6% is of 22 million? About 2.2 million orphan ballots that are out there with no legitimate voter to go along with them. Then they ballot harvest orphan ballots, and there are no signature reviews. And so our initiative does two things. Number one, we first start with the most important reform, which is cleaning up the voter rolls by requiring, number one, an audit every 2 years of every voter roll before mail-in ballots are sent out to make sure the voter roll is accurate. And part of that also includes citizenship verification for every voter who's on the voter roll to make sure that only eligible people are getting the ballot. Once we clean up the voter rolls, then you send out the ballots, and when they come back, you need to verify identity. That's where voter ID comes in, and that's the second element of the initiative. Now, under voter ID, you present a ballot, an ID, either in person, government issue an ID in person if you're an in-person voter, but 95% of Californians vote by mail. So 5% of you are actually gonna walk into a station and show your ID. The other 95% who still wanna vote by mail, and I don't prefer mail-in ballots, but California voters do, so that our initiative does not change that practice. But we have voter ID on the mail-in ballots because we require that every voter has to select one of 7 different documents, IDs, government IDs, passport, driver's license, social security card, military ID. You can even get a free voter card with your picture on it if you'd like. We make it super simple. You get 7 different options. You select the one you want. The last 4 digits of that ID become your PIN for your mail-in ballot. How many of you worry, my signature, I can't remember how I signed. How many have a little bit of doubt about signing your ballot? Because you don't